What more do I have to do to get another club to even give me an interview? It's getting silly now. Hello, welcome to Season 12, Episode 1 of Non-League to Legend. I'm Kev, and I'm still at Ipswich. I did apply for the Manchester United job and didn't get shortlisted, didn't even get an interview. England sacked Ronald Koeman, or he retired or something. I applied for the England job and didn't even get shortlisted. We just finished 7th in the Premier League and I won the FA Cup with a team that 3 years ago were in the Championship. You'd think England might be interested. In fact, who even became England manager? That's worth finding out. Hold on. This is you'd think this is the sort of thing I'd have pre-prepare. You'd think I'd be able to say pre-prepared, and then this would be the sort of thing that I would pre-prepare with. So rather than me, an up-and-coming English manager who's just won the FA Cup, they've gone for Rui Vitória, 56-year-old Portuguese chap who managed a massive club like Everton to finish one place above us. Previously been at Napoli, Chelsea. I'm guessing all these clubs sacked him because there's not overlap in the times. Actually, no, he did okay at Napoli. Chelsea sacked him, though. He was Portugal manager and got sacked. Benfica manager. See, why? I didn't even get an interview. It's ridiculous. So I'm at Ipswich for at least another season. What that does mean is I am here for the grand opening of the Alf Ramsey Arena. We're not playing there in the first game today because we've got the Community Shield at Wembley. But the second of the two games is that... No, that's away at Leicester. So you won't actually see the opening of the Alf Ramsey Arena. But, I promise you, so much fun planned. You'll see it eventually. It'll be great. But if we have a look at our facilities... Again, another area where we've grown massively since I've been at the club, as well as our league stature. Look at this, we've now got a 43,000 all-seater stadium, under-soil heating, top corporate facilities, superb training facilities, superb youth facilities, level 1 on our youth, only average junior coaching. So that in fact, let's ask the board if we can fix our junior coaching now. So where's that? That's in here somewhere, isn't it? Increase junior coaching budget. Yes, let's do that. That reminds me, we're still skint. We have got the Europa League this season, which will hopefully sort it out, but the projections don't look too clever, do they? Which meant we didn't have oodles of money to spend this pre-season for once. We still had one or two oodles, but nowhere near as many oodles as usual. Importantly, as of right now, I know it's only the 9th of August, so we've got nearly a month of window left. But as of right now, we've not had to sell anybody. And we've brought in 2 players. Matt Lee was Manchester United's reserve goalkeeper. I think I mentioned him in the last episode. England number 2 goalkeeper as well, ahead of Garrett. He's never actually played a Premier League game, never played a game for Manchester United. But we've just gone out and spent £10 million on him because that's how we do things at Ipswich. You're familiar with my work. So he's going to come in and be our first choice goalkeeper for this season. We have a young and hungry young English goalkeeper who can hopefully come in and establish himself as a top goalkeeper, both for Ipswich and for England. We've also brought in a 29-year-old free transfer. I've changed. Abdul Haq Nouri, 29 years old. He's played 2 games for Holland. I don't expect him to come in and be a first choice, but I like the fact that he's going to provide backup to Johnny Vaughan in attacking midfield, but he can also play up front, he can play central midfield, he can also play on either wing. Now we've got a few players now who can play on the wings, and I think that's now actually becoming a feasible system for us to use on occasion again. So we've got Nuri who can do it, Ambrose can do it, David Martin can do it. I'm sure there's others who I can't remember off the top of my head, but we've got at least 3 or 4 players now who are capable of playing out wide. So if needs must, we potentially have another string to our bow to use this season. We then signed another young Brazilian striker, Oliveira, 21 years old. He just looks good. He's the Ipswich mould. He's quick. He's strong. He's a good finisher. He's got good technical abilities. He hasn't scored bags of goals, but to come in, rotate around with the other strikers that we've got at the club. Last time we brought in a Brazilian striker, it didn't go down too badly. And he's got up to 5-star potential ability as well, so room to get even better. So I'm always happy to splurge a bit of cash on a young Brazilian striker with 5-star potential ability. This guy, probably the disappointment of the summer. An Argentinian wonder kid, Franco Valverde. We actually agreed a fee with Man United to sign him. He agreed terms with us, although the sort of semi-agree almost terms. But then nothing happened. And then the transfer just seemed to go away. I don't know if a bug got involved or what was happening there. And then I think he might have signed a new contract with United on a lot more money, which basically meant he was no longer interested in signing for us. The £15 million fee we had agreed, they suddenly wanted £80 million or something for him. I think he went to the Under-20 World Cup or something and played really well, and they realised, hang on, we better keep hold of him. So in the end, we've not been able to sign permanently. We've got him on loan for the season, and I expect him to get plenty of game time. He can play in central midfield or holding midfield. Ideally, I'd like to be able to bring him in permanently, but I don't think it's going to happen. But he's got plenty of experience for one so young. And it's a bit of a shame we've not been able to snatch him away from Man United as well. If we'd have acted a little bit quicker, we probably would have got him before he went away and trebled his value. But never mind, eh? So, money-wise, we've still got £10 million of transfer budget. We don't really have much in the way of wage budget, though. And I don't really expect to bring anyone else in. I wouldn't mind bringing in a centre-back, but there just isn't one out there who's massively better than what we've got at the club. We have got 4 centre-backs. The 2 backup ones aren't brilliant, but none of the options that we've got out there are particularly brilliant either. If we look at, I mean, it's one of those things where you get to a certain level with a club the size of Ipswich, and the players that we need to bring in to improve the quality of our side now, a club with a reputation like ours is going to struggle to bring in. So if we look at all players who've been scouted who have 5-star potential, let's be picky here, and they're under the age of 23, there's only 2 of them who my scouts are identifying there'd even be any chance of signing. One of them is a right back and would cost £24 million, and we don't need to spend £24 million on a right back. We've got Lazarov at the club. This guy, he's new. He wasn't there the last time I looked, so we might just bring him in. Let's get another scout report just to make sure. But if we can bring another 5-star potential South American striker in for £2.5 million, we certainly will do that. You can't have too many of them as far as I'm concerned. But none of the rest of these have even got a price, so there's not really any chance for us to sign him. I don't see the benefit in signing anyone who's not got the potential to be a world-class player. We've not got any gaping holes in our squad where we need to bring in dodgy journeymen. It's all about building long-term now, so we'll just wait to see if any of these guys become available. Which brings us into today's game. We're playing in the Community Shield for the first time, playing against Chelsea, so it's a repeat of the FA Cup final. And this is the team that we're going to be playing today. We are carrying a couple of injuries off the back of the summer. Leader is injured and is going to be out for a week or so. He's only our 4th choice centre back anyway. More importantly, Johnny Vaughan is injured and is going to be out for 4 to 6 weeks with a double hernia. And Modu Fall has dislocated his shoulder and is out for 6 to 7 weeks. So straight away, there's potential opportunities for some of these new guys to come in and impress. So Nuri comes straight in to play in the Trequartista role. I'm going with Lacio and Thomas up front today, but Oliveira is on the bench. We didn't bother bringing back Sanchez because we brought in Oliveira instead. So we're going to have Oliveira and Ambrose on the bench. Chris is finally fit again and comes back into the midfield. I'm hoping this is going to be the season he justifies all the hype I gave him 2 years ago. He had a pretty disappointing first season. Last season, massively disrupted by injury. Hopefully this season is the season he starts to look like a real top quality midfielder that I still maintain, looking at his stats, he should be. So he's going to play with Teixeira and Yusuf in midfield. And then a back four of Walker, Peters, Dane, Zabala and Lazarov, with Matt Lee making his debut in goal. So probably a slightly weaker team than the one we played in the last match against Chelsea. Weakened by injury. Hopefully we're a little bit stronger in the goalkeeping department, and we'll just have to see how we get on, eh? Chelsea are obviously favourites. Yes, the chairman matches my ambition. He just doesn't have any money to spend anymore, because anyone who's been paying attention, I've spent the last 6 years absolutely rinsing that man dry. So we kind of need to bring in some prize money or some advertising money now to justify him giving us any more. We're going to score. We almost scored a goal. It's a bit odd playing a match again after the FA Cup final. Not wearing my tie today. Nowhere near as stressful today. I couldn't give 2 hoots whether we win or lose the Community Shield. So it's been a while since there's been a match where I can sort of relax, drink my beverage out my Green Arrow mug, which I realise is probably going to have invisible elements, as will my Green Arrow t-shirt that I'm wearing. So I probably just looked like I had a see-through chest because of the green screen stuff going on. But, you know, a little bit of a relax, bit of my coffee. Oh, there's a football match going on. Not a lot's happening in it, though. The most important thing that's happening in it is we're half an hour in and we're not being outclassed by Chelsea. We're 1-0 up. Yusuf. There we go. See, in the back of my mind, and I was reluctant to say this to you lot because I didn't want to tempt fate, but the game is so dull that I feel the need to just sit and have a chat with you. It feels a lot like that promotion season we had in the Championship where we spent several years spraying cash around, assembling what looked like it could be a really good Championship squad, and then we just sort of ran out of money, and I just brought in one or two key players that we needed, and suddenly the squad was complete. There was no disruption at the start of the season. You've already seen this tactic is already starting the season as fluid, which is the first time we've done that in the Premier League. So that's a massive change because we've brought in so few players. And it feels a little bit like that. I kind of think if we're ever going to get a push at the Champions League with Ipswich, kind of has to be this season, because if we don't do it this season, I can see a lot of these players leaving. How long are the likes of Lazio, Zabala, Fall, how likely are they going to be satisfied with just scraping into the Europa League? Hopefully winning the FA Cup will satisfy them for a year or so. Although I'm still expecting Zabala to do his usual transfer deadline day shenanigans. It wouldn't be deadline day without some Zabala shenanigans. But, I don't know, if we don't get to Champions League this season, I think the squad is going to disassemble itself, and at which point I either have to move on or completely rebuild, and I don't really like the sound of either, because I'm pretty certain now there's a bug in the game that prevents me ever leaving Ipswich, unless it's something to do with reputation. But previous versions of FM, I've never had a problem becoming England manager when I've got to this level, so to not even be shortlisted, it feels like there's a you have to manage Ipswich forever bug, which I guess if I end up getting sacked, that's not a big deal. Right, we'll bring Fritscher on, move Chris out to the box midfielder role, and we'll bring Oliveira on for his first game. Where does he like to play? He can play as the complete forward then, just straight swap with Lazio. Hopefully he's going to come in and be as good as Lazio. He's a little bit older. I think he's the same size as Lazio. So we've obviously had Lazio for 2 years now, so Oliveira's coming in a little bit older for a little bit more money, and I would expect more of an immediate impact from him. It took a little while for Lazio to really establish himself as a top guy. Oh, tell me there's not going to be extra time in this stupid game, assuming it gets that far. It's just going to go to penalties, I hope. I don't know who he is. We're getting to that point now where we're dominated by regens, and I don't know, should Lee have done better there? I don't want to jump straight onto goalkeeper as my scapegoat. I've kind of got Zabala in mind for that this season, even though he's a very, very good defender. I just don't like the cut of his jib because he keeps messing us around. Right, there we go. Let's see if we can snatch a winner before it goes into, hopefully, penalties. I hope it's not going to be a stupid extra time thing, because that's just annoying. Is it going to be penalty? It's penalties. Right, so if we're going into penalties, let's change the highlight. Let's have it as, we'll have close, so that we can see what's going on. So, here you go. Who's taking the first penalty? Oh, they've got a player injured. Surely he's not running up at that angle. That's insane. So, Chelsea to take the first penalty. And he's not even looking at the goal at the moment. Is he going to line up properly, or is this what? Oh, yeah, there you go. So he's lining up properly. There you go. Matt Lee justifying his £10 million already. Can Cool score? He does. We need to slow this down a bit. This is a bit fast for proper highlights. There we go. Just slowed down ever so slightly. You say Hazard, he must be about 40 years old now. Scores for Chelsea. Who's taken our next? I didn't even look at it. Right, so Yusuf, he's already scored today, obviously, and doesn't mess around with that penalty either. So, 2-1. Here we go. Let's see if we can have more heroics from Matt Lee. Don't know who Alexandra Richard is, but that was a nice penalty as well. Who have we got up next? Let's have a look. Oliveira. I mean, yeah, he was always going to miss. Why did I let him take a penalty? This is what happens when you press auto pick. He's played 20 minutes of football for us. Did Matt Lee just save another penalty? Nuri also on his debut. Right, with 4-2. 3-2. Right, we need a save here and we've won. A save or a goal at this point. Go on, Matt Lee. Yes! What a signing he is! There you go. England's number 1. Should be soon. He's just shown some real heroics at Wembley to win us the Community Shield. There you go. We've gone from Wembley being a place of absolute horrible nightmares for us to we win every game there now. Played our last 3 games there. We've won. Yeah, they've all been in the last 3-4 months. We go to Wembley all the time these days. Let's go and play our first league game of the season, which is away against Leicester, and it's live on the telly. Long-time viewers will remember the closest I've come so far to leaving Ipswich, like proper, almost on the verge of hovering over the resign button, was the Joshua Emanuel saga. Back in the Championship promotion season when the board sold him out from under us, and he was our best player at the time, superstar right back. Sold him out from under us to our promotion rivals Bournemouth. They went on to win the league with him in the side. We went on to play James Maloney at right back once. I kind of feel like we're going through a reenactment. Paris Saint-Germain we've turned down 2 offers for them this week for Lazarov. £38 million and £55 million. Money just becomes ridiculous at this level. But if they come back with an even bigger offer, at what point are the board going to look at the finances and think, hang on a minute, we're £16 million in debt. It's only going to get bigger, that debt. We could clear out. I mean, what if they came in with 75 million, for example? That means that, right, for the next 2 years, we're going to be running at a profit. Problem solved. From one player. We'd get 3 times our money back after a year. I wish there was a way to talk to the board and say, look, is this what you're planning? Because I think my biggest fear now is that they're going to come back in on transfer deadline day with an offer the board can't refuse. We're going to lose him and then not have anyone to replace him. And there's that other right back knocking around who I've just said a minute ago, oh yeah, we won't bother signing him. But I kind of would. If Lazarov goes, he's the one I want to replace him with. Can't afford him until he goes though. What if someone else buys him first? Should I accept the next offer because I know an offer the board can't refuse is going to come? It's hard. This game gets harder the further into it you get. So, first league game of the season. We're away against Leicester. Unchanged side from the one that won the Community Shield against Chelsea. Why would we change that team? We played Leicester on the first game of the season last year as well, apparently, according to the pre-match interview, which I believe we won, and it set us up for the best season we've had to date. So, hopefully, we'll repeat the trick. Although, Leicester are the favourites for today, and I've just got a bad feeling about this match. Why haven't I set it back to proper... goodness me. 2D Classic, there we go. I couldn't work out what was wrong with it for a minute there. My initial thought was, why is there a league table there? Hang on, why does the game look weird? Oh, and it's too slow as well. Blimey. What a difference that 1 notch of speed makes. There we go. Now it feels like I'm playing Football Manager. Right, good headed clearance from Zabala. He was getting good at them towards the end of last season. Good to see that continue. And he gets a block in again. He's a bit of a heroic last-ditch stopper for us these days. It's probably worth switching him to stopper. There he is again, look. But look, now he's using his technical ability, having a run down the left wing. Finds Chris, who finds Yusuf. And if it hadn't have hit the back of whoever that was, his heels, who's number 24? Oh, Nuri, of course. If it hadn't hit the back of his heels, that could have been a goal coming from Zabala's surging forward run. Lazio's got the ball here. It's eventually finding its way out to Lazarov, who hopefully can get the cross into Thomas, and he does. And it's 1-0. Wilfred Thomas with his first goal of the season. This is going to be a big opportunity for Thomas. If he doesn't take this opportunity while Fall is injured, that's probably going to be curtains for him, because I'm not going to keep Oliveira on the bench for long. But that was a good header. So he'll survive in the team for another week on the basis of the fact that he scored a goal. I think that's reasonable. We're playing Man City in our next match as well, so that's good. It's a big early test. That's the game that opens up the Alfa Ramsey Arena as well. So, you know, fingers crossed, we'll make that a fortress and never lose a game there. Right, Lazarov's got the ball again. Set a new assists record for Ipswich last season from right back. But it's out to Walker-Peters, and Thomas was in again, but he's offside. Walker-Peters picks up so many yellow cards, and I never really see him commit a foul. He just picks them up off camera. I don't know if they're all for swearing or something. Lazarov wasn't moving very comfortably there. That was a bit of a panic. But Mr. Reliable, Zabala, doesn't want to become my new scapegoat. So he's just throwing himself in front of everything. What a defender he's becoming. Lee picking out Lazio, doesn't quite manage it. Lazarov's been caught a little bit out of position there, pushing very far forward, which I suppose is where he gets all his assists from. But they've hit the post. Panic stations. Right. I really want to get to half time now without conceding a goal because, why would we want to concede a goal? That'd be stupid. Managers say obvious things. There you go. That in itself is a cliche. I've just talked about the cliche of managers using cliches, and I'm still going on about it. Matt Lee just collected a cross though. That's new for us. We didn't get that last season with Garrett in goal. Right, Lazio has found Lazarov eventually, but it was an awful pass. But there you go. Zabala's in again. He's having a fantastic game. Yusuf to Lazio. Lazio's in behind their back four, and he doesn't need... He's gone back to the Lazio haircut. This man flip-flops between these haircuts like nobody's business. How does he grow his side hair so quickly? It's remarkable. But there you go. Look. That was very nonchalant from Lazio. Saying, look, I've got my Lazio hair at the moment. I don't have to look like I care. I can just beat my man without even accelerating, and then just stick it in the top corner and walk off. Because I've got Lazio hair, and that makes me unbeatable. That means I need to go to the Lazio haircut now. I might start changing my... Every time Lazio changes his hair, I'll change my hair. That might be a new thing. That could be a whole separate series in itself. Kev becomes a regen. Brazilian regen. Right. Oh, we're in a Champions League position at the moment. That'd be a nice place to camp out for the season. Right. The game's all gone a bit quiet now. It might be time to inject a little bit more life into it. Chris has just made a tackle in midfield. There you go. He's decided this is his season. Lazio's in again. Lazarov, I think that's his first assist of the season. Oh no, he got the assist for the Thomas goal as well, didn't he? So already piling on the assists again. And Lazio, this is going to be the year he just becomes a world-class superstar, 40-goal a season guy. It's his year. Oh, I'm getting excited now because we're absolutely taking Leicester apart in this match without really looking like we're breaking a sweat. We're not playing particularly well yet, but we're too good for them, and that is a really good sign. Right, Thomas can come off. Oliveira come on. No, we'll give him a go at Poacher this time. I'm not moving Lazio out of his complete forward position that he does so well. Oh, Lee was a bit hesitant there. Didn't know whether he was staying back or coming for that. And, you can't be hesitant as a goalkeeper. This is an unusual place to get the highlight from. There we go. Lee is wearing bright blue boots. That's weird. But that's perhaps why he hesitated, because he thought, oh, hang on, their shirt's the same colour as my boots. What do I do? If he's going to carry on wearing those stupid boots, I might have to sell him. Because that's just stupid. Was he wearing them at Wembley? I don't think he'd dare wear stupid boots like that at Wembley. Right. Come on. We just need to hold on to this now. It might be time to switch to one of our more defensive tactics that we've got, just to hold on to this game. Don't give them a chance to get back into it. But those two have just combined again. That's Lazarov with a hat-trick of assists and Lazio with an actual, proper, real person hat-trick. Lazarov's just whipping that in. Left-footed this time. He doesn't care. I mean, he needs to reel it in a little bit, doesn't he? I'm trying to discourage PSG coming in again with an £80 million offer. But, he is the best right back in the world. I don't know how we got him. Why did Real Madrid let him sign for us this time last year? I don't really get that. Right. We're working on a few new defensive systems. That's one of them. And then there's this. I'm just really playing. I just felt like training something a little bit different. These are actually the two tactics that my backroom staff recommended in our pre-season meeting. So I just thought, why not? Let's try them both. Should we try this one to finish off the game? What's the worst that could happen? Are we throwing everything away by doing this? Or could it just turn out to be amazing? Who am I actually trying to take off here? I want to take off... I guess I want to take off Nuri. but I haven't got anyone else who can go up front, so I can't really take him off. What I might do is a more sensible version of this, where I do that, stick Chris in midfield, go to our normal way of having the midfield work. This probably, straight away, is not what we were supposed to be doing with this. They're going to take one look at this and think, that's not what I intended at all. But then we take Nuri off, we bring Sokolov on, stick Dane in the middle like that, and then do that. That looks like it works to me. We're going to swap those two over just because that's where they've been playing. So why mess, eh? There you go. That looks alright to me. Flat back 5. I mean, Lazarov spends so much time in the opposition half anyway. He's basically a midfield player. And Walker Peters is the same on this side. So why not stick an extra centre-back in? Go a bit counter-attacking, see what happens. We're 3 goals ahead. I mean, we probably didn't even need to bother doing that. But why give Leicester the opportunity to attempt to come back into the game? Let's just try and close it out. And it looks like it's working because we ain't getting any more highlights. There you go. Interesting positioning. Zabala's in again. I really am starting to like him. He knows I wanted to make him a scapegoat, but he's just playing so well at the moment. I don't see how that's only a 7.6 because every attack Leicester had, he was there to break it up, apart from that one I scored from. But I guess that came down the other side. There was a reason why he didn't get there. There you go. A 4-1 away win on our first game of the season and our first trophy. That'll do, won't it? If you've enjoyed today's episode, make sure you pop a like on there for me. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on tomorrow's episode, which will, I mean, it won't be long until that one. We'll probably do that as the transfer window closes, maybe. So around the time of this Everton game, we'll just play these two, close the transfer window. I might make the next one Everton away and our first game in the Europa League. Why not? Thank you very much for watching.